So I've been asked to read this person's palm here. I don't know this person. I know nothing about them. They've just asked me to provide them with a palm reading. So I'm just going to do a sort of general reading here and try and make this quick. Okay, so first thing I'm going to go over is health. But before we do that, I'm going to stick to my guns in terms of the formula. So the first thing to look at is, of course, the shape of the palm and the fingers. So we look at chirognomy and then filter through the chirology and the chiromancy through the chirognomy. So what we have here, it appears to me there's a bit of an angle with this particular picture. This to me looks like a water hand. So we have someone who is sensitive, analytical, creative, emotional, caring. So whilst this is a water hand, there is a squarish element to it. It's not completely water, so there's also this square palm, long fingers element as well. So we are predominantly a water palm with a secondary element of air, which makes them all the things I've said about water, but also this analytical, theoretical, scientific mind. Air hands more commonly have double headlines than others, and indeed this person does. Their headline does double at a certain point, particularly at the end. Their headline also reaches the other end of their palm as well. And someone with a long headline and long fingers is definitely someone who thinks things through, perhaps overanalyzes, someone who's potentially indecisive. Okay, so now we know a little bit about who we're dealing with. The thumb here, that's a fairly strong thumb. I like that there's the shape of it. It's not a weak thumb at all. There's a good amount of both logic and willpower. And it's ideal to have those even, although this person has more logic than willpower, it does seem from this picture. And indeed on the left as well. So they're more likely to get pushed around than do the pushing around. However, I do like where this thumb is set out on the palm, the angle of it. It's certainly not someone who is, as I say, they're more likely to get pushed around. However, it's not like they don't think about or consider themselves, and they certainly have courage. So there's a good balance here. There's a good balance going on. You can see the inner plane of Mars here is slightly concaved by the shadows that indicate that, but not too much so that, as I say, they're not going to get pushed around. This person is well balanced, generally speaking. There is some slight wasting here with the fingers in between the soul and the mind, and when I say wasting, I mean the fingers come in slightly where the soul meets the mind, and that's generally because someone they feel like they were there's some sort of abandonment issues there, and that's how they feel about it. Doesn't necessarily mean that was the case, but that's how they feel. There was some They feel neglected in some way as a youth, or perhaps let down by whatever organisation that was governing them. And also that's indicated by the Mercury. It's quite low set here. It appears as though it's sort of climbing out of a cliff face there. Mercury grows out of a steep angle on the palm, whereas the rest of the fingers are quite in line with each other. Mercury does not reach the first phalange of Apollo, therefore we have a short Mercury. This is someone who is probably not a very confident public speaker. However, we do have a strong Jupiter here. That certainly looks longer than Apollo. Let's see. So, yeah, on the left we also have confidence here as well. The left represents their true self-confidence. The right represents how they now feel in terms of esteem. And on the left we still have a short Mercury. So this person is probably good at communicating those they're close with, but they probably wouldn't feel comfortable giving a talk or a lecture. It's not a tremendously short Mercury, but there is some perhaps their childhood prevented them from communicating, expressing and learning as well as they could have done in another environment. And again, that coincides with the slight sort of wasting there with in between mind and spirit of all four fingers. So that's a little bit on the chirognomy. We certainly got a lunar mount that it's quite a well-developed imagination. Luna drops down quite low. There's certainly a tendency to dwell on the past, to hold a grudge, and the imagination is strong with this one. There's a deep well of Luna there. Luna drops down on the palm slightly there. I always tend to think of Luna as a vast expanse of heavy, dark water. And on the palm here, it almost looks like this water is weighing this person down. There's a tendency to fantasize almost when you see the lunar mount sort of weighing down on a person on the heel of their palm. So as I said, we're going to go over health first of all. It looks to me like there are some digestion issues here. I mean, overall, this person appears healthy. Can't see too many indications with any health problems. Sometimes the tip of Jupiter leaning towards Saturn is an indication of gout. But I'm not too concerned. Let's have a look at the left. And yeah, you can see it there as well, but not to an extreme level. So gout is often caused by the liver inability to process certain proteins, and certainly with some digestion issues, there is a possibility for this person to get gout, or maybe they've had it in the past. Now, when it comes to the spine in palmistry, there's a couple of different schools of thought. You can actually see when it comes to the back, it's interesting. The spine is represented by Saturn, and the corresponding major palmar line with Saturn is the Korea line. You can also see indications of the health of the spine in the lifeline, and of course the heart line, the health line. So sometimes when a fate line is broken, or it takes a sharp turn, it indicates problems with a person's spine. I don't think I see that here necessarily. No, I don't think there's any major problems with this person's spine. The gland and the prostate looks healthy. You know, I'm not too concerned in terms of health here. There may well be some issues with just looking at the width of the wrist in conjunction with the palm, and a potential island there. I mean, I'm not massively concerned. If this person were to do an ink print, and the heart line was sort of not visible underneath Apollo, I would then perhaps be a little bit concerned about cardiac issues in later life. However, I'm not too concerned at the moment. I don't see any high cholesterol. I don't see any major health issues around the corner for this person. All in all, I would say this person is in good health. The only major sort of health issue that could be cropping up here is you can see a line from the heart line here interfering with the sun line, the person's happiness, stability, security. Here you've got a bit of it's a bit messy up here. It's almost like a sort of triangle. Triangles are generally good in palmistry. In fact, they're always good, except this could be seen as some sort of cardiac issue. It's not quite a triangle, is it? And that's not really what I'm getting at. There is some, as I say, interference under the ring finger. Some possible cardiac issues later on in life. So I'd certainly recommend cutting out dairy. Milk in particular. It's used in industrial glues because of its incredible adhesive qualities. It literally gums up the arteries and causes a great deal of health issues. So I would certainly recommend cutting that out as much as possible. I don't think it's an issue at the moment, but it's something to look towards reducing or cutting out. Hawthorn and cranberry extracts are excellent at regulating blood pressure and releasing the valves and arteries. Obviously, I'm not a clinical professional, so consult your doctor before changing anything about your diet or medication in any sort of extreme way. I would think this person has an exceptional memory. I say that because of the loop, where it's discovered on the lunar mount, the positioning of it, and also the length of the headline. So how the shape of the palm here relates towards a person's health. How can we say that looking at a person, the shape of the person's palm is relevant to the information, in terms of discerning health issues? Well, air hands and water hands, this person is predominantly water, secondary air, water hands are more prone to addiction, allergies, breakdown, sort of a mental breakdown, and negativity due to fatalism. Air hands are more prone to headaches, colds, incorrect diets, and allergies. As I've noted with this person, there's certainly some digestion issues, nervous tension, mental fatigue, and just living in our heads. As I've said, this person has a potential to hold on to the past, and ignoring physical symptoms as well, this person doesn't really have much of a Mercury line, and often that's indicative of someone. It's difficult when someone doesn't have a Mercury line, and some believe that a lack of a Mercury line is not a good sign in terms of health, but the jury's out on that one. Now then, this island here is a bit of an elephant in the room, isn't it? I mean, this was obviously a period of great stress for this person in their life, from around the age of 20 to perhaps 26, something like that. A very stressful period, and you can see the headline doubles at this time. You can just about see it coming off there as well. And so the upper headline here, it's weak at first, and then this person sort of comes out of their shell a bit more, comes out of this difficult period, out of the other side of it. The upper headline here is how this person is appearing to the outside world. So they've gone through an extremely difficult patch, and during, sort of 23ish, they're kind of, the way they decide to respond and appear to the outside world is very different to how they actually feel about it. So whilst this is occurring, they're feeling, the headline points towards lunar, and not an unrealistic place of lunar, but lunar is imagination, and it's dreams and creativity and fantasy, and it's often where we go when life gets too hard. Often people, and I'm not saying this is the case with this person, but when life gets too difficult and we have a psychotic break, our minds, when we hallucinate, we tend to, it's a defense mechanism. Our minds create a separate reality. And so when we go through difficult times as well, our mind reaches towards a place that's more bearable. And so that's what's happened here. And then I would say that after this difficult period, there's quite a lot going on here. That's about the age of 32. I'm wondering if this person met someone at that age. So let's see here. It could be that this person met someone at this age and helped them grow and respond to the difficult situation that they were in, and help them grow as a person and in their career as well. So I've just been looking at the left hand. This person didn't feel very positively at this time, but what actually occurred was that they started a second job, or had a hobby, and began learning a great number of skills at this time. I think my advice for this person would be to look after your feelings, to guard yourself, protect yourself, because being quite a sensitive person means, and I don't mean that necessarily emotionally, you are quite an idealistic person. You do have a tendency to become hurt, but what I mean is you're physically affected by your environment and your emotions as well. So when you're emotionally hurt, your body takes a toll as well. So it's extremely important that you guard yourself. There's certainly a good amount of ambition here. I like that. This is good. You've got a lovely ambition line coming off the headline there. The thumb certainly suggests ambition. The finger of ambition itself is strong. The Jupiter finger here. There looks to be some promising opportunities in career from the age of 40 onwards, but it's important not to divide energy and attention in too many paths at the same time. If you try to catch two rabbits, you'll catch none. And so it's extremely important, I feel, this second path that your career went down, that you began early to mid-30s, this second path that you began down, which is more enjoyable for you, perhaps it was a hobby that you wanted to turn into a career, pursue that career. Because I'm going to show you here, it began here, and here it is. Now the reason why I say don't divide your attention too many ways is because these paths here peter out. Well, these two here, and then yeah, they might be appealing ideas, but it's, I think, to continue with whatever it was you started, because this looks stronger and it could well become stronger still. There will always be the opportunity to make money, and that does grow. That becomes strengthened in from 53 onwards, likely as a result of a partner. So let's have a look at other images you sent me. So around the age of 52, 53, there is some support with a partner here to succeed. I believe, I've just been looking at other images, and I believe I see 2 children. I don't know if that's happened yet. I don't know how old this person is. There's indication here that the headline doubles at the end of the headline. And I believe this person will make good money in their winter years. This person has an excellent ability to utilize their experiences to benefit the lives of others around them. They're probably a very good listener, and the experiences that they've gone through, they feel very strongly. A person like this has the ability to look back on those memories and experiences and relive them almost as if it were that same day. And that's a double-edged sword, because although you have an exceptional access into those experiences, you also have the possibility of being brought down by those. So it's important to play to that strength, and to use that in every way you can moving forward to help those around you. Look towards the future. Don't try not to look back. We can't change it now. So I hope that's been helpful. I'm not sure I've told you an incredible amount here. If you do get gout, I don't think it'll happen. Drink concentrated cherry juice. I don't mean it's hard to find the stuff I'm talking about. It's expensive as well, but it's actually a cure for gout, and support your liver as well with milk thistle to prevent. So there we go. I don't see moving away to any long distance country in future as a possibility yet. So that's everything I'm going to say here. I hope that's been helpful. Thanks for letting me read your palm. If anyone's watching this and would like their palm read, please email me pictures of your palms, and check out my other playlist. I do a case study every Sunday.